As we gather, we are reminded that the town of Bonnyville is situated on Treaty 6 land that is steeped in rich Indigenous history and is the traditional homeland and home to First Nation and Métis people today. We respect the histories, languages, and cultures of First Nation, Métis, and all First People of Canada whose presence continues to enrich our community. Before us, we have an agenda. Were there any additions to the agenda?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. For tonight, we would ask that 7B be removed from the agenda package, as we are going to bring that back at a later date. And other than that, we do not have any additions or amendments.
Okay. All right. So we'll be removing 7B from tonight's agenda. I'll get a motion then to approve as amended. Councillor Blanchette.
I'll move adoption of the agenda, removing 7B.
All in favor? Carried. Next, we have the meeting minutes from June 9th. Were there any changes to these minutes as they've been presented? Motion to approve then, please. Councillor Johnston?
I'll make the motion that we approve the meeting minutes from June 9th, 2026.
All in favor? Carried. Okay, on to our delegations for this evening. First up, we have the Lakeland Extreme Broncs and Bulls. Welcome. Good evening. So I believe, nope, you'll be talking us through a presentation?
Sort of.
Okay.
Sort of. So first of all, thank you for having us tonight. I just want to recognize former Mayor Craig Copeland in the room. I just want to thank him for all of his service over the years. Thanks, Craig.
Thank you.
Tried to match up shirts tonight, but he always got us beat with those shirts. Joining me tonight, of course, is Sean Metchowis. Him and I and Katrina Reed, of course, have put together the Lakeland Extreme Bulls and Broncs over the last 2 years successfully in the city of Cold Lake. We thought, why not Bonnyville? Why not? So we thought we would try to bring a part of our event into the town and utilize the Bonnyville Ag Society grounds and put on a little bull show. So what it's going to be, just so you guys know, and you guys do have in your package our sponsor package from our Lakeland Extreme Bulls and Broncs. Did it not get to you, Trace? Oh, okay. I'll make sure I send that after.
Okay.
That's, oh good. But kind of puts kink in things, but that's okay. We'll roll. That's why you guys are all looking at me like, what is this? Good thing I'm good on the spot. Anyway, so for those of you that aren't aware, the Lakeland Extreme Bulls and Broncs is, it was the first indoor semi-rodeo that we brought into the city of Cold Lake, into the Energy Center. Last year, you guys made a contribution to our event, and it was very much appreciated, but we didn't come to you guys this year for the Cold Lake event specifically because Sean and I and Katrina had decided to see if we could run this or run a semi-style of the event here in Bonnyville. So the way it's going to be put on is it'll be happening August 29th, and it'll be what we call an Extreme Bulls Night Out. So what we're looking to do is we're looking to run bull riders. We're going to run how many of them, Sean?
24 to 30.
24 to 30. We're also going to fill in some of the time with hopefully maybe some local junior barrel racing of some other event of some other sort to kind of give a couple of hours, if not 3 hours of entertainment, and then roll that into a rodeo dance at the grounds. Just so we can get things out, what we're looking for today is we're looking for the town to help support us with the costs associated with renting the grounds and moving the chutes. So right now, for those of you that were at the rodeo just this past, I think it was, a couple of weeks ago now? If you guys realize where the chutes are, they're kind of pushed into the back, so it allows the wagons to run. What we want to do is, because we're not running anything on the track, we want to bring those chutes closer, so it gives the experience for our attendee. Anyway, with that said, we also have a cost that's associated with that. So the grounds right now are $2,500 to rent with a $2,500 deposit, and it's going to cost us about $7,500 to move the chutes. Okay? So I just wanted to get that out. No? Help me out. $5,000 to move the chutes. Sorry. So with that said, what I've noticed over the last couple of weeks is trying to define what a for-profit and a non-profit event is. And I know you guys are always tasked with, how do I support something? So I just want to help you out a little bit. Mayor Craig Copeland, or former Mayor Craig Copeland, right behind me, he taught me something special about 3 years ago, which is we always want to try to bring events into our communities, and it's really important to help those that are trying to bring those events in, support them, but not take it on yourself. So as councils, you guys aren't in the event business. Leave that up to the people that are in the event business. But what's really important to know is, as a for-profit, yes, at the end of the day, we get the hooray of hopefully making some money. But unfortunately, it's just like any other event, you try to break even, okay? So I guess where I'm trying to go with that is, when there's losses to be taken, it falls on the people that are putting the event on. When there's profits to be made, we'll definitely share that information. But I want to give you a little synopsis on what's happened over the last 2 years with our Extreme Bulls and Broncs. So our first year we put this on, had a lot of great support. We were able to break even. This past year, which we just hosted here this past Mother's Day, unfortunately for us, we lost money this year. And to no fault of anybody, it's essentially just some missed opportunity with some sponsorship that probably would have got us there. But the key point is here, we absorb a loss of, let's say, $20,000. None of our user groups that we bring in to help us put the event on lost a drop of money. And I'll just give you an idea of what happened in Cold Lake. We had, for the last 2 years, we brought the Cold Lake Fighter Jets in. The first year they received $2,500 from us. This year they received $3,500 from us. On top of that, the Cold Lake Ice have received $5,000 both years. They run our 50-50 for us. They help us out a lot. They've both made $5,000 in each year. On top of that, we help out, help me out.
Well, last year was Cookham's House.
Cookham's House. This year it was Cherry Grove Egg Society, as well as Doug Irvine's,
Trail ride for
yes,
Second Chance.
Second Chance Trail Ride. So going into this year's event in Bonnyville on August 29th, which is a Saturday, going to be a great day. Make sure you guys come out and enjoy. We're bringing in, we've talked to the Bonnyville Pontiacs about doing our 50-50. That'll be completely all theirs. We're also bringing in the Cold Lake Fighter Jets again to help us with some volunteering that we might need throughout the dance. It's always good to have a couple of big football players, right, Byron? Counseling? As guys standing at the door, and of course anything else that we need. So just a couple of user groups that we're going to try to utilize to help us put this event on. Now, for us, this is the first time that a specific bull riding event has been held in Bonnyville.
In the town limits.
In the town limits. So we're trying to do these first. We did it. We were the first ones to bring an indoor situation into Cold Lake. We want to be the first one to bring just a bull riding event and everybody have a good time. So that's what I'm asking for. I'm hoping. Sean, do you want to add something?
Yes. Okay, so a year ago when I came to the meeting, I said we were for profit for the wrong reason. And the reason was we couldn't come to terms with the Cold Lake Ag Society. And we simply ran out of time to get our approvals in within that time frame. Now, Corey with the Ag Society, when I phoned him about renting the facility, he said to me, would you guys be willing to do a partnership? And my reply was absolutely. It would be win-win for all of us. He since took it back to his board of directors, and it didn't go very well from there. So once again, we are for profit for the wrong reason. Now, some of the, what you should know as a business person, right now, we are taking the risk, okay? And there's not a trainload of people behind us saying, yeah, we're in with you guys. We'll take the risk. Nobody's there, okay? Just like in Cold Lake, nobody was there to jump on board with us. After things went, there was a few, yeah, you know, we'll come and help, right? So, you know, in saying that, there's, we want to make this work, and we want this, we kind of talked about this, we want to make this one of the signature events in this town. Okay, we want to build on this. Generally speaking, it's about a 3-year process, okay, to really, before this really goes where it needs to go, okay? And we are, so when we do this Bull Riders Canada event, something that you should know was that when we put the event on in 2025, there was about 54 events throughout Western Canada, British Columbia to Manitoba, Alberta, Saskatchewan. Our event was voted the 3rd best of the year, which was quite ironic to me because I didn't know there was a category voting that the contestants and personnel voted for the event of the year. Okay, so I thought that was really, you know, a big feather in the cap for us. And I want to say that our event grew. We probably had 300 to 400 more people per night, you know, so we did grow. We've, you know, we've got potential to put on very close to a world-class event. What I've always liked about the town of Bonnyville, and for those of you that know me or don't know me, I supply video screens to pro rodeos, Indian relays, chuck wagons, bull ridings throughout Western Canada and into the United States. This year I've got about 15 events in the US, mostly in Montana. And I really like the potential that I see in this town. I really think this town, what I like about Bonnyville is they're so good at supporting their events that I feel very confident about that. And I'm not just saying that because I'm sitting here, I'm saying that because I see that in every place that I go to. And when you go to do these events, you have to create, and I like the way Chad explains it, but you got to create an experience. You got to do something. You got to be better than that other event. You've got to create some excitement and put on a good show and have people talk about it. And that's the plan. Now, something I will let you guys know, and I'm going to age myself here. The last time a Bullarama was held anywhere close was in Action Barns, and I remember it was like more than 33 years ago, and because it's how long I haven't been drinking, so I would just, so, but anyway, it just, you know, that was, and it's never been held here. I did propose this a number of years to the Ag Society, but back in the day, when I was on part of the Ag Society, in Bonnyville, they had their races at the end of like third or fourth week in July, and they didn't want to do it before, and they thought after was too soon. So we never did get it off the ground, but you know, I'm kind of stubborn. I'm not going to give up on this because I really think this could be, you know, we're looking at expanding this to 2 and 3, like do a whole weekend worth of events in the years to come, but we need that initial support to begin with.
In
Got
closing,
it, okay.
I would just like to add that whatever the town does come up with to help support us, if that is the decision, we will put that towards a sponsorship. Now, the sponsorship package that I thought was with you is a dual sponsorship for Bonnyville for Cold Lake. The MD did come on and help us in Cold Lake, and they're helping us out with the Bonnyville show as well. So whatever number, if that is a number that comes back to us, it'll be appropriately put into place so that the town and the employees have an opportunity to come out and check out the event and take part of our sponsorship and be, I guess, put forward as one of those sponsors to be recognized. Again, I know that I want to be respectful to the other groups that are behind me tonight. I know one of the best barbecuers in town is sitting there, Rob and Tom. And if you need a good hot tub, talk to my friend Ryan. Anyway, with that said, I want to thank council for your time tonight. We really appreciate it. Any questions?
Okay, thank you very much for the presentation. Any questions or comments for our delegation this evening? No? Okay, Councillor Johnson?
Just one, what was the date again that you were proposing this?
Saturday, August 29th. Is this on?
Is there a reason why it was on the 29th? That was gonna be one of my questions. Like, is this a tour of racers or whatever it is? And
So yes, I know, I think I can go with the answer on that one. So when we picked our date, there was a few things that came into play. First of all, I wanted to be respectful with the Ag Society and their event. I wanted to make sure that there was appropriate amount of time in between so it didn't affect them, as well as sponsorship. I have not gone to the Bonnyville folks yet. I was waiting until that was kind of all over, then kind of go out and do my thing, out of respect for the Ag Society. Then the third thing is with the dates, you got to kind of pick a date that you're going to maximize your athletes, and of course those being the bull riders. And this seems to be the best date that worked for them to give us another opportunity to put on a great, entertaining show. Correct?
Yes and no, yeah.
Yeah. Let's just roll with yes.
Okay, thanks. CAO Winfrey?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Just had a question. Is this a sanctioned PBR event, PBR sanctioned stop, or is it affiliated to the PRCA?
It's sanctioned by Bull Riders Canada, which is the level below the PBR, mostly because of cost
They
associated.
will score on these. They will score.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Sean, just speak to the cost really quickly, and then I'll get out of here. But speak to the cost of what it costs to bring in athletes and animals.
Well, that's kind of a double-edged sword there. The prize money can range anywhere between $5,000 to $12,500 dollars in prize money. The stock is generally anywhere from $300 to $400 per animal. So we're kind of shooting for that 24 to 30 in our long round of competition, and then 8 back to our finals. So, and then there's the cost of the personnel that come in, your announcer, your sound people, your bullfighters, and on and on we go with that, right? And in the way the calendar falls in the rodeo season, the month of August this year, next year has 5 weekends, and that became an open weekend, and there was no other events on. So I jumped on that when we had this conversation back in the spring. I booked the date, and that's how we were able to get a Saturday. It's going to be a problem in 3 years when we go back to 4 dates, but we'll deal with that when we get there.
Okay, thank you. I have more questions, but I'll counsel anybody. Okay. Can you tell me what it entails? So you need to move the chutes. Well, why is there a cost to move them? What does that entail? And is that not something that the Ag Society does, or?
Well, our option was, number one, to leave the chutes where they are and rent a set from, there's people that do come and set up chutes, and they can go indoor, outdoor, wherever. And we looked at that. And then when we proposed it to the Ag Society, I said, unless you guys want to move yours, we can offset that cost, and we're probably going to save about $3,200. And they're actually all for moving their chutes because they want to do some groundwork where they're currently set up. They want to fill in and then crown it and then move the chutes back. So it actually is kind of a win-win for them. I'd rather give them the money than, an out-of-town entity for that. So
Is it just the manpower, or is there a special piece of equipment that you need to move it?
just a skid steer would move it, a
Oh,
bobcat
okay, so
would
you'd have
move
to
it.
rent all that.
Well, they've got the equipment there, I
Okay.
think, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then I have one more question, sorry, and then I'm done. Can you talk about, so it sounds like there's you have another person who's working with you as an organization. Are you just working as individuals? Or are you coming in as a society, or?
So
What
we
does that
are
structure
coming
look
in as a for-profit group. So it's 3 individuals that kind of put this all together.
Yeah.
Madame Brasso, or Madame Mayor, sorry.
Yeah.
Always get those confused. And basically what we've done is the 3 of us have taken on this role as committee members. We do have other committee members that we've brought in to help us with the events. Unfortunately, we lost one of those fine young men here just a few weeks ago in Matt Cardswell. He was a big component to our show. But as far as getting down to the nitty gritty, it's the 3 of us with Sean backstopping essentially the dollars that we needed to get going. So when we look at this again as a for-profit, yes, we're doing everything we can to try to make a buck. But at the end of the day, the first year, we were able to break even. Second year, unfortunately, we lost some money. Doesn't deter us because we see the progress that we've made in Cold Lake. And just so that everybody is aware, we increased our numbers, we increased our show ability, we increased our VIPs. Everything was a win except on that sheet of paper, which a lot of people determine whether or not make or break an event. Sean's passion for rodeo is by far none some of the best. And well, my passion for just trying to do things, I think we all know that. And Katrina, who wishes she could be here tonight. Unfortunately, she's coming down tonight, but she'll be here tomorrow. Katrina was a local real estate agent here for years with Century 21. So anyway, yes, it's us three. Long-winded answer. Sorry, Mayor
That's
Grosso.
okay. All candidates with passion for wanting to do things for our community, so thank you. Just one more, any other questions? No, that was all for me. I appreciate the time this evening, and we'll take a look over that sponsorship package once administration sends it out and we have the opportunity to discuss. Thank you.
Thank you for your time. Appreciate
All right, thank you very much. Not yet. We've got Big Smoke Bonnieville, if you want to come up, Ryan. Good evening.
Yeah.
How are you?
Finally,
We're good. Oh, I know, right? Yes. Excellent. Well, we do have a presentation here and they've got it up there, so.
somebody brought a presentation.
Good job. Somebody was prepared. We'll give, the floor is yours to walk us through and then we'll do the same. We'll have an opportunity for some questions after.
Yeah, so
Okay.
this is kind of like a little slideshow thing.
Ryan?
Basically, it's just pictures of us. And there's some aerial shots as well. But the overview is we are in the third year of sanctioned with Kansas City Barbecue Society. And then 2 years prior, we were part of the town. So we're in year 6, essentially, right? Last 2 years, we just broke even. We have some growth, but this year we have some things that have changed. We lost our representatives in Alberta. They retired. And there will be 4 more new reps, but they won't be trained. So the problem is last year it cost us about $800 to get those reps out here. And they work for the KCBS sanctioned out of Kansas. This year they got to come from Ontario. The fella that is traveling said, I'm very large and require a huge seat as well. So not only do we have to fly them from Ontario, rent their car, pay for their accommodations, he's also a giant man that needs a giant seat, or at least, extra legroom. So it's costing us almost $3,000 to get them here. So although we're growing, we had more contestants last year. We have extra costs. This year's things that have changed are our generator and light standards might not be donated. So we have to prepare for that cost. Greg Schultz at Hertz Rentals informed us he's not sure if he can do it this year, but still committed the 2 generators to us. So we're prepared for that. We asked the MD for $4,000. I'm informed that they offered us $1,000. So that's that. We also will have to pay for extra porta potties this year because we're going to be offering food that we didn't have in the last 2 years. So we figured out the proper, what's the word for it? With the AGLC, with the health inspector, whatever.
AHS.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we got an exemption that we're going through.
We got the proper one now. So that's good. So we can serve food like we were the first 2 years with the town. So that's nice. Our ask is $10,000. You can see how much money we made in 2025 and 2024. Just a little bit. This year, if we don't have the help, I think we're in, well, it's obvious we won't be able to break even. like we have in the last few years, like with a $900, call it profit, right? We'll be out. So that's what we're asking for. Anything else, Robin?
Yeah, so if you don't mind, I'll just give a little bit of insight to the KCBS because I actually compete in it. Okay, so the KCBS is the Kansas City Barbecue Society. They do have a sanction in Canada, but it is international. And there's roughly about 7 competitions that run between Saskatchewan and Alberta on a yearly basis. We're looking at, like I said, bringing people into the community. Last year, I think we had 15, 16 teams. We have 10 registered right now. And as Ryan alluded to, all of our money is generated via sponsorship and everything like that. A large part of these competitions, the payouts in total are anywhere from $10,000 to $6,000. They typically pay out 1, 2 overall, and then top 5 for each protein. So they cook 4 proteins in the Master Series every year. It's the brisket, your ribs, your pork butt, and chicken. There's allotted time frames that you have to enter all this into. And we do something a little bit different as well, draw the community in. So we do a backyard competition as well, which just generally consists of chicken and ribs, where community members can actually join in and join the fun and cook as well. And then we do a drink ancillary where you have to do a barbecue themed drink, which gets judged too, right? So it's fun. It's quite a bit different than the Rib Fest that is held in Cold Lake. The Rib Fest that is held in Cold Lake is like a single ownership, for profit. You know, it's kind of masked as 3 teams competing against one another. It's not. It's all the same company. They do garner a lot of community support for that, but again, they are for profit. We are technically for profit right now. We are going through the non-for-profit status. And as you can see by the numbers, we clearly are not in it to make money. We do it because we're passionate about it, right? So, and each cost to each competitor that's coming, by the time they pay for their meat and their travel to get into the area, is probably looking at roughly about $1,000 to $1,500 each minimum. Entry fees into each competition are roughly $350. So there in turn, you see the issue, you have 10 teams signed up, entry fees $350, that's $3,500. So that doesn't leave a whole lot of skin in the game for, getting some of the services that some of the teams require, i.e. porta potties, generators, water, getting trophies made and cash payout, right? So this was something that was started by the town of Bonnyville. My son won the first one. He was 14 years old, I believe. I was luckily enough to win the second one. And then we went to KCBS, and I haven't been able to win since then because there's a lot of really, really good cooks out there. So, and just so you know as well, so the #1 cook in Canada is registered coming to us from last year, which is Janice with Smellicue. And then like Big Smoke is another competitor that's in Manitoba. He is the top in Canada today. He is also registered coming here. So there's going to be some big prevalent names in barbecue coming. And, with your guys' help, we can make it a bigger and better product showcasing Bonnyville and the area, obviously.
Thank you. Thank you very much. We'll open it up for questions, comments from council. Councillor Blanchette.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Thank you, gentlemen, for being with us this evening. It's great to see this event still happening. I know myself and Councillor Langridge and Councillor Johnson, we were on the OG events committee last term, and it's great to see that this kept going. My question for you, I think that you have a fundraising opportunity. Are you pursuing the Canada Day fundraising opportunity for the town?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
That's right. We're actually going to go rub 35 pork shoulders right after this and smoke them very soon. Yeah.
Excellent. And you're running beer gardens that evening as well?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Correct. Yeah, we're working with Cold Lake Brewing.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Awesome. That was my only question. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions? Councillor Kushner.
Thanks, Madam Mayor. So when you're talking about you'll be serving food this time, is it the competitors' food, or is it your, oh, this year we get to
Both.
do it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
We'll have some as well as the competitors. Same structure as the chili cook-off, buy our tickets.
Okay.
Yeah.
Excellent. Thank you.
So some competitors have opted out, some have opted in. So there'll be a pretty good selection, I'm quite confident. of.
I know walking around there and smelling all that and I can't have any. Are you kidding me? Thanks.
Any other questions? So you talked about bringing reps out that are part of the, what did we call it? Kansas City something or other?
Barbecue Society.
KCBS.
Yeah, so in order to have this competition and to be part of this organization, you need to have these judges come out. Are they judges?
They're
I guess I'm
the
assuming, but
representatives that
just okay,
they do the actual tallying. They are like in charge of making sure all the Ts are dotted and the Is are checked. If you know what I mean?
yeah.
The judges are volunteers.
Right.
They have gotten their course and they go and eat free meat all over Alberta, Saskatchewan, and Manitoba. So they come, they grab their hotel room and they walk around.
Okay, these
And
are
then
like
they,
sanctioned
they're
judges.
the eaters, and then the
Got
reps
it.
make sure everything is like totally like private and like tallied properly. They have like a
Yeah.
computing system through the Kansas City Barbecue Society that's like the gold standard that we have to use. So we pay our dues, we pay the representatives, and the judges come for free.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you said there's more than one coming from Ontario?
It's a couple.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you've got two.
Yeah.
And about $3,000 for both or for
No,
one?
in total.
In total?
Yeah.
Okay,
If fuel prices stay down.
Yeah.
okay. Now you talked about the prize money, the pot, how it's quite substantial. Is that when you go to, like, do you have to, is this like you have to win this to go to a grand? Is that how it works?
There's
You
an
just-
Alberta Cup.
Yeah.
Oh, okay,
Yeah, so there's an Alberta Cup that's runs all the competitions in Alberta. But there's, like to give example, last weekend I was in a little town in Saskatchewan called Kipling, 700 people. The prize money on that was in total was $8,000.
Last year we were 6,800.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's what I was
I think
thinking,
so.
yeah.
Yeah. Now they also attracted like 5 teams from the United States that come up. 2 of which that have won considerable competitions. The American Royal is a big one, and so is the Jack Daniels competition in the United States. So basically, if you get a GC Grand Champion at a sanctioned KCBS competition, you have an opportunity to get an invite to one of those competitions in the United States. Now, they also have a big competition called the World Championships that they're going to be putting on this year in Las Vegas, where the pot is going to be potentially $1 million. Yeah, it's kind of becoming quite a big deal.
Mhm.
So the more competitions that we have throughout, Western Canada garners more opportunities for, smaller local teams to be invited to these
Mhm.
big opportunities in the United States.
And in the last 5 years, we haven't lost locals because we became sanctioned. We've held them. We've got a few extra. Some teams have broken apart. Your kids. So it's been good. And then we've had some local kids doing the kids queue, right? Where we provide certain meat and they got to make a burger and compete. So we get these families of the competitors and, just locals that are having their kids do it. It's a fun little thing that we do in the afternoon.
And then one other question for me. So you moved location. Was it last year was your first year over at the C2? How did you find that being there? And I
It was
there's a
good.
lot more space. Did you get a lot of traction?
Yeah,
from
and room to
yeah,
grow.
Yeah.
Yeah, we think it's going to be good for a few years. And if we grow into the type of place that has a band or concert, the outdoor rink is perfect for it. You can corral everybody in there, right? So,
Excellent. All
Yeah.
right. I think that's all from us. Excellent. Well, thank you so much. Really appreciate your time
Yeah,
this
thank you,
evening.
guys.
And
Very good.
yes,
Thank you for your
appreciate it.
time.
thank you.
you guys validate parking?
Okay, I know the peace officer.
Yeah. Okay, good evening. Violet and Craig, welcome. Here to present on the 2026 Alberta Winter Games.
Yes, we're not asking for money today.
Got your money.
Wait, we already have.
I don't know how you follow barbecues, but we'll try our best. Violet's gonna do most of the talking. I'm just here for color, but, and yeah, I'll just, jump in when, that's why I wore a loud shirt, but, I'll just jump in during the presentation.
Yeah. He did make me come by myself last time, so.
Well, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Thank you very much for having us today. I know that I've had the opportunity to run into some of you and have some follow-up one-on-one, but we want to come back and share some of just an overview of the games, especially for some who weren't involved in the planning stages like that, and just kind of talk about what we've been doing since the games and kind of some feedback in general. So we put together just a small little presentation, and then of course, if you guys have any questions and stuff at the end or any feedback, we'll welcome that as well. So just as a little overview today, we want to take a review of the games weekends and events surrounding that. We'll go over a small financial overview. Although we're not quite finished the rest of our reporting and our findings, we have a pretty good idea of where we are substantially. And we want to make sure that we're reporting to you and being accountable for where we've spent our money. Event feedback, I think it's really important that we share our feedback that we've got from several different user groups and partners, so that we're aware of how this is looked through different lenses, including facilities, athletes, everyone, even our government partners. Post-game activities, what we've been doing since then, and the work kind of that is required afterwards. And of course, we came here for some thank yous, so we want to make sure that we touch on each of those things today. And I'll be as quick as I can because I know it's still really nice out there for everyone. So just to do a little overview of some of the events that took place, we did kind of the main kickoff to our events since I was last here in December was our torch relay, our virtual torch relay. So we got a chance to throw a little bit of everyone from athletes and some counselors and from the MD in the town and the city of Cold Lake. And we got to visit on 2 different occasions in Bonnyville and Cold Lake and drive around and film little snapshots of the torch relay of it being passed. And we really captured some great little moments in Bonnyville, in Glendon, at the Shaw House, and in Cold Lake and on the base. And when it came together for those who were at the opening ceremonies, the torch relay video looked wonderful. It was a great chance to see our partnership with ATCO being involved in it as well. Some really great feedback on that, and I think that ATCO is moving forward with doing the same model for future games. They really like how it played out. We love the participation from everyone, and I think it was a really good combination of a lot of people. So we're pretty proud how that happened, especially being the guinea pigs for it. So I'm glad it was successful. And then we kind of, we had the barbecue for the community, and it was horribly windy that day, and ATCO tried to set up outside and everything blew away. So we came inside and we kind of pivoted, and we had a good turnout. They actually said that was probably the most people that have come to that barbecue sometimes. A lot of community members were there. They came for some hot dogs and hamburgers, and we lit the cauldron inside, which had never been done before. So we made it work, and it turned out great. The volunteer rallies, we had one in Cold Lake, one here in Bonnyville. They were well attended. It was a really great chance for people to talk with some of the groups that they would be working with, some of the other volunteers, some of the staff members, some of the members from municipalities hung out and kind of visited with people. And we talked a lot of things, games, and garnered a lot more excitement coming into the home stretch. And so that was a really important activity for us. And I know it was well attended by council members, so we really appreciate everyone's effort there. And then the day came. So February 13th, we saw Over 2143 is our final count of participants, so that's athletes and coaches start arriving on the buses, 201 technical officials, and approximately 5,500 plus visitors to the area. So that is a significant number. We were well above anticipated numbers coming into it, so we were really glad that we were able to get everyone we could into hotels and in the region and neighboring regions. So we were definitely full. It was great to see most of you there. We're ambassadors on and off the buses, directing traffic, showing kids to schools, helping them with their luggage. And it definitely was, it was really exciting. So we were really glad that that went well as well. That evening was the opening ceremonies in Cold Lake. We had record sales. We sold out. We had standing room only, so it was fantastic. Everything went great. It was a great show. The athletes loved it, and that was the whole purpose, is that they had a great time, that they felt welcome to our community, that we made them excited to be here and excited to start their competition. Then we had great 3 days of competition. So we were so lucky. We had the best weather. We were so worried going into it. We had the most snow. We didn't have to do anything. We didn't have to truck in any snow. The people from the town and the MD were great at having everything groomed and everything on standby. The competition was top level. We couldn't have asked for better weather, especially after that day after the athletes departed. it was the worst, one of the worst storms we've seen here. So, and then the last competition wrapped up on the Monday at 12:30 was the last to be finished, and everyone was out of here by 2:30 on their bus going home. So that afternoon we held a virtual closing ceremonies. So once again, this is a new model that they're looking at going towards. And it really worked best for us, so we didn't have to try to gather everyone again in the same area. So it's one thing to gather everyone for registration or opening ceremonies, but once we've spread out into the region, it was just not realistic to bring everyone back together and try to host something in person. So the virtual, everyone got a chance to see it, view the awards that were handed out to the zones, and wish everyone well, and that went really well. So they'll be using that format going forward, I believe, as well. For our financial overview, we did bring little pieces of our proposed budget when we came last time, so we don't have a lot of difference from that. We had our costs, anticipated costs did vary a little bit, but we gained some gift in kind at last minute, so kind of balanced out with some of the unanticipated costs. So we did have our budget at 1.9 million was our final proposed budget going into the games, 1.894, and our costs are coming under budget, we are coming under our proposed budget. So we're anticipating that we're going to have a very small surplus of funds. And in what typically is done when you have something like that is that we will, if we're able to, roll it into a small amount of legacy funds to be given to our local facilities and some of the venues that we utilize to kind of give them back a little piece of the games. You know, we've talked with some of those key people at facilities and venues, you know, or what is something small, because it's not a lot of money, that, you know, never makes it into the budget for you. What is something that is, you know, impactful for the managers or the community groups that, you know, just never makes it into the budget, never gets approved, that, you know, think would really benefit. And they've come back with some really great ideas. So what we're doing now is working towards finalizing that, so we actually can bring that to fruition. We can actually write some of those checks to those facilities or venues, or purchase those items for them. And they've asked us to, if they can put, you know, a little logo or namesake on it for the game, so that it's a piece that, where possible, it will be kind of a little speaking point for people to say, hey, did they host the games here? And most of the facilities we talked to, actually all of them are very proud to have hosted. So it's just another thing that's exciting for them too. So they definitely were great partners for us.
Well, just to jump in on the expenditure side. So when the people that were nominated or volunteered to be sitting on the board, and then right, Neil, you know, the idea was right from the get-go to hire people like Violet to run the games as a paid person, but the idea was to try to keep the expenses local. So one of the big decisions we did was have all the food provided by the local communities, Cold Lake and Bonnyville. Instead of catering out you can get these big companies to bid on it. And one of the things we tried to do, and Violet and her team did a great job, is to try to expense most of it all locally if we could. And so when you look at the, on the expense side of the ledger, a lot of that money stayed local. Except there's some costs like busing the athletes to the games is out of our control. But just so people realize that not only were the hotels packed and the restaurants did well, but also wasn't for our local caterers and restaurants did a tremendous job feeding the athletes. Sorry.
You're allowed to talk. It's okay.
You don't realize how hard it is for me, but that's good. These guys know.
So one of the areas though, and I did say that this was a struggle when we came in December, one of the areas that we did fall very short on was sponsorships. So when we laid out where a lot of our funding was going to come from, we relied a lot on that and it didn't come through. So we did pivot. We relied heavily on casinos. We worked a whole nother casino. We had some fantastic gift and kinds come to us. Just so many to mention, and we've made lots of visits with them too to make sure that they know that they're appreciated. But our ticket and souvenir sales were very exceptional. We went out of our way, even still, was sourcing local. All of our souvenirs and merchandise was local. To make sure that we got things that were budget friendly, which made them more accessible to not only the people had, spent a lot of money to travel here with their kids, but also so the athletes could purchase themselves. So volunteers purchase a lot of stuff as well. And we were able to make a lot of money that way. So it was really important that we use those kind of things to kind of fill that gap where sponsorships had fallen short for us. We will be providing our final reporting, so it's available. We're actually talking with the town right now, administration, to archive our information so that it's kept. It seems like the logical place to kind of archive it and make sure that it's kept for future information, any historical value that anyone may have in that, or any questions, or if anyone is thinking of hosting this in the future, like not the near future or anything, but but just in case that thought comes by again, then that was one thing we found, that there was the games only keeps the government counterparts to us only keep so much information. We do all their lesson learned reports, but they don't keep so much as like the financial information, or what some of the lessons learned on your funding and your sponsorship resourcing, things like that are. So we'll make sure that we compile all of that together and make sure it stays with the town as well. So, and then you'll have a chance to look at kind of our information if you have any questions through it then. So our event feedback has been very positive. We've been very overwhelmed with people who have come back afterwards and either enjoy participating as an athlete, as a coach, as a community member, as a volunteer, as someone just watching the games, or some of the people that, some of the businesses that became involved or just got to speak with people that were visiting. So the feedback has been phenomenal. Craig stole my thunder talking about the food services, but that was one that we were really proud of. We really knocked it out of the park there. So a lot of the coaches or parents that had been to several games came back and said it was the best food in the games that they've had in years. Like it was really good. Like we really capitalize on using our local talent, and we have some of the best caterers out there. So it was a little bit more work to organize, but it was well worth it. So that was a huge thing. Food will make your games is what we were always told, and it really did. So so a lot of that credit goes to them for that. The local hospitality was second to none. The reports we got back from people that visited about the restaurants, the stores, the workers at facilities and venues, we received zero complaints about that. In fact, people came out of their way to tell some of the staff or some of the other volunteers that our town and the city of Cold Lake and Glendon all welcomed everyone with open arms. So that makes a big difference, and that makes us really proud. And one of the reasons we wanted to host this event, right, is we want to show them our little piece of the world and welcome them to it. The volunteers were really big on that too. There wasn't anyone who had anything bad to say about that. The volunteers were smiling, they were friendly, they were knowledgeable, and if they didn't know, they'd find someone who did know. So we really appreciate that. And we saw most of you that weekend too, so we appreciate you being volunteers or voluntold. The venues and facilities were second to none. Everyone enjoyed everywhere from Glendon to Canuso Ridge to the C2, the Energy Center, the cross-country skiing at Muriel. It was all very well done, all very well maintained. The facilities were cleaner, the cleanest I've ever seen them. They were well taken care of, and we definitely have given kudos to the staff and the management there for making sure that that happened for us. So souvenirs were great, lots of good feedback on that. The virtual torch relay and opening ceremonies videos, we got a lot of feedback from that, a lot of emails on that, on how they enjoyed it. Every partner enjoyed that we had these virtual ones that were a little bit more accessible. The opening ceremonies video that we had with the municipalities and stuff, it was a really nice touch, and I think it really brought a good welcoming message for the opening ceremonies, so that was great. The schools, we had the districts open their doors to all the athletes and coaches. And for the most part, 99% of the time that went really smooth. The athletes had lots of room, and they had showers to use there. It all worked out. So it was really great. We made sure we circled back with the school districts and brought them some recognition and made sure they knew that we appreciated the work that they did to get us over the finish line there. So our post-game activities, we've been spending lots of time with sponsors, with some of our bigger volunteer groups, community groups, doing follow-up with them. We do want to make sure that we give them some recognition, and we're going to start doing just one of our final blitzes of all of our visits. We've been taking pictures as we go and kind of sitting down and doing a little debrief that's in our reports too, of things that they felt they were proud of being sponsors, or things that they would like to see improve on, or different ways that they could participate the next time an event of this magnitude happens. I think in theory, when you're approaching people and asking for ways to be involved, we see a vision. Hey, are you interested in doing this? You know, if it's not monetary, do you do this? And then afterwards they're like, hey, you know, we could have done this, or we could have, you know, been here helping with this. So it definitely was good to do some follow-up with them and give them some ideas too, not only how they helped us, but how they can help other community groups as well. So just another way that it kind of just brings it full circle for everyone. We've donated a lot of our supplies. I'm now homeless and I work out of my home. I'm no longer at the C2. But now that we've downsized the rest of our office, and we've made sure that we've utilized everything from giving away electronics, kitchen supplies to the Hive, to other community groups in need. So I make sure that they went to places where they really needed to be used. The Hive actually we gave them a lot of things. So anything we used in our offices, we also provided some laptops for them. They were in dire need of, you know, they help kids do university applications, and, you know, kids that are searching for jobs, or kids that are working on their literacy or numeracy. So, and all of theirs had crashed. So that was a really neat thing they did. We've been working with that team quite a bit to help them. Stepping Stones, just some other groups that could use items here and there so that none of it goes to waste. Like I said, we've been working on our lessons learned reports. So these are the same ones that go to the government, but we've kind of expanded on them a little bit so that we're very transparent about all of our successes and all of our roadblocks along the way. So anyone really doing an event, not just the games of this magnitude, has an idea of some things maybe they wouldn't anticipate, or some things that, you know, it takes some of the thinking out of it, you know, jump a couple steps ahead and no need to reinvent the wheel. So hopefully someone could use that information. And once again, we'll be archiving all that we can with the town. Just makes sense that all of our information stays in one place and is accessible to whoever wants to read up on it or needs to use it. So the most important reason why we came here today is the thank you. We definitely couldn't have done this without your support, and I know that, especially as we went into the home stretch last couple months before the games, we had an incredible amount of support from the town, and it would not have been a success without you. Obviously, our initial partnership funding was quite important. You know, without everyone coming to the table with that piece, we wouldn't have been able to get, you know, a giant leap forward to get started. The networking that the town has provided, invitations, introductions, facilitated working with local law enforcement so we could work that into our security plan. There's just too many things to check there, but a lot of those little branches reached out and they really helped us get to where we needed to be. The games warehouse was huge. that was a huge thing, and we truly appreciated that. That was like our heart of our operations, and Councillor Johnson knows he was there, man in our communication center and dispatching cars and picking up athletes and everything in between. So it was a really important hub. It was great for the bus parking. It really took a lot of impact off of the Centennial Center, which was busy itself just by hosting the games and having the food center. Like that was absolutely crazy. So to have that games warehouse where we were moved, able to function and kind of work a little bit away from the chaos over here was absolutely fantastic. And same with the buses when they left on the Monday, like being able to stage them somewhere else and getting them to go is fantastic. We couldn't have done it. It was the perfect location for us. The coordination and support from the public works team, Brad and Bonnie and their team were absolutely amazing. They cleared snow for us when we needed to. They had signs when we needed them. They were all on board. A lot of them even came out and volunteered that weekend of. So they really deserve like a special mention because they went above and beyond for us. So we really appreciate that. And of course, participation from Madam Mayor, Council, and the town employees. So everyone just really, I can't say thank you enough because it really takes a village, and the town was the village for me at the end. So I really, truly appreciated it. And yeah, that's where, you know, and the school districts as well. And we talked about that, but they got big thank yous from us, and just the whole community in total really came together. So we've been handing out thank yous like crazy since February, and I probably won't stop. So do you have anything to add?
No, I just think that everybody in the region should be really proud of games. I mean, Phil knows from the last games that were in our area, but you know, the province came to us because of the smallness of our area and wanting to bring the games back to rural Alberta. And you know, I think the area, the municipalities coming together financially was, of course, we need a lot of money to put these on. A big shout out to the province. They don't get a lot of thank yous much, but they did step up to the plate with extra funding. Their staff are amazing to work with, and they really scored the big win for us was getting an extra casino in Edmonton. And you know, gambling does pay for the nonprofits.
It really does.
You know, it just overall, I mean, it's like you build up to this big weekend, and then you know, it's like wow. But I think everybody in the area, the volunteers pick up. We had amazing pickup of volunteers near the end. They brought, you know, a lot of people came in to help, and the community deserves a big pat on the back. But, you know, I think we proved that we have some of the best facilities in sports, and we should be proud of the municipal funded facilities we have, and they rival everywhere else. And we choose to be a bit different where we didn't want to burden the municipalities with finding employees to put on the games. We ran it where we funded employees through the budget to run the games. Other municipalities have employees that this is all they do. So I think everybody deserves a pat on the back, and I think it was great for the area. And it was a big economic boost. If you remember, the economy wasn't the greatest. So it allowed a bit of a boost for some hotels and restaurants, etc., during that 3-day extravaganza. just on behalf of the board and the staff that from the games, we thank the town of Bonnyville and all the employees for sure. We're open to questions. Hopefully they're
Thank you.
hard-hitting and fun questions.
All right, we'll open it up. Who wants to start? Counselor Johnson.
I just want to say thank you to Violet, your staff, the entire board. I know you guys were running ragged that weekend and you had some pivots behind the scene that were unforeseen, but it was flawless to the athletes and the coaches because being in the bullpen when the kids were leaving, the coaches were leaving, they were saying best games they were ever to, smoothly run. Thank you so much. So just feedback from you, that was coming directly from coaches and athletes as they were dropping off their luggage. And what a group of volunteers in the warehouse there. There was not one piece of luggage left behind. So those guys worked really hard and ladies worked really hard for that. So congratulations and thanks for everything.
Thank you. Counselor Kushner?
You stole my thunder. No, congratulations, guys. I know how much work that was for you guys. Congratulations to the board, Violet, and your team. There's challenges like crazy. You didn't sleep very much. I know the feelings, but you guys did a great job. Really, really great job. So we're very proud of you and thank you for all the work that you guys did for us. Appreciate that.
Thank you. Any other questions? Counselor Langridge?
Thank you, Madam Mayor, and thanks, team. I mean, we get to see each other lots, but I'm just going to echo what Craig said, and I'm kind of curious, it's a two-part question, but how has the feedback been from the provincial staff that have, like Jeff and his team for our event?
Well, like we alluded to, this was kind of a different model for them. So when Jeff and I talked, it's kind of hard to, he looks at it like a positive light. He goes, but it's hard to compare apples to apples because regionally a different model. We're not just, one city hosting it, and our staff / volunteer / board model was different than most every other year that they've done this. But that's what happens with the games, is that it changes a lot. It pivots a lot based on who's hosting it and how they want to set it up. But their feedback was awesome. And I got a chance to talk to what you call mission staff. So that's Jeff's team when they were here, and nothing but wonderful feedback because theirs is directly from the athletes and the coaches. And they've seen lots of venues. So when they give you a compliment, that's a really good compliment. Like when they say, this is really good, then they mean it's really good. So that was a lot of the feedback from them. Our coaches night that we hosted here in Bonnyville, the Centennial Center, we did music poker. It was the most packed it had ever been. They said sometimes they have 15 coaches show up. Sometimes they had 20. We had all couple hundred in there. They were packed in the VIP suite at the Nova, and we couldn't get them leave. And there was no liquor being served, I swear. But like it was packed. They were having the best time. So we had to like flick the lights and get them to leave. But it was, they had a great time. So we had lots of firsts like that for the mission staff, and they said that was awesome, that they had no negative feedback for us whatsoever.
Oh, that's good to know, because down the future in another 20 years, someone may be interested in looking at that. So it's always good to get that feedback. And then again, kudos to you and your team, Violet, and especially to Craig. He took on the board chair position, and he's still going through it. And he was in the bullpen in Cold Lake at the food center, and that came with a lot of challenges itself. But I'll just echo Craig's comment to the province. Like he said, they don't always get the kudos, but without those two casinos they give us in Edmonton, you can only imagine what that number wouldn't be a positive one. So, and then the long story of Craig, when we got together as a board, we told them that we couldn't run the games on the same amount that they had been giving for probably the same thing that they gave us the last time we hosted it. So from some good negotiation, I think they said if they gave us that money, you had to quit talking about Highway 28, Craig, right?
That won't happen.
Better not.
No.
It's getting worse.
I'm just kidding. No, but thank you to the province and everybody who was involved.
Thank you.
Just,
Counselor Schroom?
maybe just jump on what Neil's saying. I think how Violet answered also is that we did come out with some first. Who knew schools weren't going to put shower heads in showers? So traditionally, the athletes all stay at the schools, of course, thinking that there'll be showers there. And then we had to do a big change because the schools now have been, because of the way the world is, the showers are now being removed from the schools, and the schools desperately tried hard to put as much shower heads in as they possibly could. But Violet's team had to look at all the venues to try to, okay, which sports can say what schools that don't have showers, but is there shower facilities at those venues? So that was new, but now they're picking it up at other communities that are coming forward, that schools are a challenge now. And so there was that, and also the funding was huge, that we had to demonstrate to them that we needed the funds because of the cost escalation, but also we didn't touch on it too broadly, but the way the economy was, we didn't get the donations from corporate regionally that we thought from some of the big significant players in our area. When they were expecting us, when you compare it to other games, I think they expected us to do better than that. And it's not like Violet didn't try, but there was organizations out there, let's just say, that gave us zero. And I think that is the big change now, is that if governments want to have athletes at that high level caliber, they're going to have to step further financially to put the games on, because corporations are pulling back in a huge way, and we caught it. We caught it. Sorry, David.
All right, thank you. Counselor Schroen.
No, I just wanted to echo everybody from council and their comments. When this first came to council, when I thought about it, I thought, how the heck are we ever going to pull this off? And it was just overwhelming, and I'm sure it was for you. And kudos to you and the whole team and all the communities for volunteering. But I want to touch base on a side thing, the athletes. Man, when I was on those buses with those kids, like, these are young professional kids, and they were all pumped up. They were excited. They asked questions. They were truly young champions for our province, and I wish them all well. And it was just amazing chatting and visiting with them whenever we had an opportunity. So again, congratulations to not only all the volunteers and to you, but for the athletes for being who they are.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments? No? I'm going to ask a couple questions. There's some hard
She's
ones.
looking at you.
Hey, looking at me.
Can you tell us, so we know how many participants and technical officials and visitors, how many volunteers did we end up having in the end? Do we know that?
Over 1,400?
No,
1400?
1,153 was our last count. But this was the other part of the problem, is that we were using a guinea pig system for volunteers. This is the first time that the province had used that, and it was quite glitchy. So we had people that were registering, they could see it, but we couldn't see them on our end. And they had a great team working with us too. But I think that it was just like, needs to be tested more before we use it. So we lost some people in the cracks. We had some people who signed up who weren't in the system, so we had to manually do them badges and do their things. So it was, if I had to say that was my biggest gong show, that was my biggest gong show, because it was like, and then people would be like, you're screaming for volunteers, and I volunteer, but no one's called me. I don't see you. I can't help it. So that just took a lot more manpower for us to physically call people, get them to the right place, print them a manual badge. So 1153 is what we finished with. But I would say, yeah, it's probably even 1,300 was where
So
we
is
hit
that
on.
1153 different individuals or volunteer positions?
That's
Oh,
people.
okay,
Yeah.
people, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a lot.
It was below the number they think they wanted us to achieve.
Okay.
Wasn't
Yeah.
it 1,500, I think?
Yeah.
Yeah, and they made recognition, the government folks said that, but we managed to pull it off.
Yeah.
Good. And how many staff did you end up having? Because I know it was like staggered up until the games, but when you were fully staffed, how many staff were you?
8 well, not full-time, but like 8 staff for the most
Okay.
part. Yeah.
Okay, excellent. And, you know, I'm just asking because, you know, those numbers are important because an event of this magnitude to have 8 staff pull it
We
off.
needed more. We
you know,
definitely needed
and-
more.
Yeah, but you did a good job. That's,
Well,
I'm,
Violet
yeah.
was the taskmaster on the money management.
Yeah.
You know, so they gave it to me to run it. But
Yeah.
we had 20 people. But it's, yeah, no, it's, and then that's the stress of it all, is that we didn't want to come back to the municipalities for money.
Yeah.
So, you know, we ran a really lean operation. I
I'm-
mean,
I'm
getting the
pretty
feedback-
cheap.
Yeah, getting the feedback from what's going on elsewhere right now for other games. I mean,
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah, but I think, no, and I'm not asking because I think it wasn't run properly. I'm just
Yeah.
more curious. But I mean, to your point, like when we were in Grand Prairie, they had all their staff doing it.
Mhm.
The city staff were doing it, right?
Mhm.
And we're doing it on, with the amount of money that the province gave us and then with volunteers. So I think you pulled off a very successful event with the resources that you had and.
Yeah, I think, but you're not gonna ask me the question, but I'm gonna answer it anyways.
Okay.
I think that in,
Same, Anita.
because you guys are gonna archive this video, especially the shirts.
Yeah.
The 20 years from now, I truly hope the municipalities revisit this and look at hiring employees from their own municipalities. I think that having the juggernaut behind a municipality when it comes to HR and comes to just the savviness of a team, I think I would lean more to the municipalities taking the next games on and having that. They could maybe have a games chair that, our games manager that may come from outside sources, but having a bench underneath that person that's backed by an HR and anything else, I think may be an interesting concept to look at next time, because they will come. I mean, people don't realize it, like, this area is well-known, and we have great facilities, but we also have great people, and our athletes deserve to have the games in their home area, so they will come back 15, 20 years from now, come back.
16 years.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. No, I agree. We're very entrepreneurial. It is where competition runs wild in our area, so it for sure will come back. And I don't need to mention, you know, the accolades that you've already received. You know, I echo what everybody says. And, you know, and I'm definitely proud of our staff for stepping up, although, you know, they weren't there all along the games, but in the end, they stepped up, Brad and, you know, Bonnie and Quentin and everybody else for helping out. And so thank you so much for your time. And got something else? Yeah, go.
Just one thing, sorry, Madam
Yeah,
Mayor.
yeah.
We had 3,000 volunteers in 2010. And you guys did it with like 1,200, 1,300? Aye. I mean, ours is a little bit bigger in the sports wise, but we had 3,000 volunteers. That's the difference between COVID times and back then in 2010.
Just,
Unreal.
just to
I
see
wouldn't
that.
allowed to say that word, COVID, but you're absolutely right.
No, it is, but that's exactly what we talked about too, is how that landscape has changed, like being involved with other nonprofit or volunteer organizations, and just to see the steady decline, and then to see in those years where it took a big jump down and it didn't come back, like we were missing a strong demographic of people, like a solid couple age groups that are not volunteering, that are not, you know, showing their children how to become volunteers in the community, and that's what we're going to see at events now. So how do you move towards that? But not only that, we did see it with staffing as well, is that trying to bring in people, but you know what, they can only be part-time and only work on these days, and they don't do that, but now they got different jobs. And for something temporary, you know, we tried a couple different strategies, you know, how do we entice people, but you can't entice people who have full-time jobs to come do a temporary job, or if it's, you need them full-time but they only want part-time. So it's definitely both of those have changed a little bit. So I echo what Craig says, and that was one of my biggest findings, is that if you have, whether it's one municipality, 2 or 3, 4 coming in together to do it, you can have the games manager, you can have a couple different staff supports, but you have to have a guaranteed certain amount of areas in there, and ideally areas of expertise, you know, people in transportation, someone, you know, senior admin/HR, someone in this. So because all the municipalities have those kind of resources, right? Rather than trying to find someone off the street to fill those holes. You can fill other holes, but those specialty ones, those key roles, very hard to find.
Said, thank you. All right, well, really appreciate the presentation and
You
the
guys in 20
discussion.
years?
What's that?
You got 20 years from that?
Yeah. All right, we'll hold you to it. Archive that. Craig said he's coming back in 16 years.
Food Center.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank
Really
you.
appreciate all the work you've done. Thanks. I used it first. Okay, let's move on. We've got the financial report for May.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Attached is the financial report up to May 2026. That includes the bank reconciliation statement, the operating financial report, capital financial report, and capital projects that were bought to date. We ask that council accept the May 2026 financial report as presented.
Okay, thank you. Any questions? Councillor Sharoon?
Yes, Madam Mayor, through to administration, thank you. On page 22 at the bottom, the handy bus, we've expensed $4,298. Is that expense, is that for maintenance and repairs, or is it actually for fuel and we're getting a lot of use out of that handy bus?
That includes repair and maintenance, the CVIP. It also includes the insurance and some fuel.
Okay, but mostly, that's where mostly the expense is going. Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions? No, all right. Motion to approve then as presented. Thank you, Councillor Sharoon. All in favor? Carried. Okay, next, appointment of the deputy mayor as of July 1st. Councillor Neil Langridge, please.
Just need to read that out loud. You want the Bible?
I, Neil Langridge, do swear that I will diligently, faithfully, and to the best of my ability execute, according to the law, the office of Deputy Mayor for the town of Bonnyville. It's not real, though. You're not a commissioner.
I know, I was writing it down. Just kidding. Okay, free, I said fired, but.
Nobody wants to be.
All right. 2026 holiday signing authority.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. As letters,
Community Policing Committee. We skipped. Oh.
we're good to go?
You bossing me around already. Yeah.
Well, summer's coming soon. Thank you, Madam Mayor. The approval is required to identify which members of administration have authority to sign checks, agreements, etc. During the absence of myself and the General Manager of Corporate Services while on our annual holidays this year. Myself and Renee Stoyles may be on leave for periods of July to September around the same time or overlapping. Should there be a need for alternative signing authority the practice has been to appoint two alternate alternates during that time. For 2026, administration is recommending that council appoint Janine Chorbos and Brad Tremble as the alternate signing authorities during this time.
Thank you. Any questions? Oh, all right. Motion, Counselor Johnson.
All right, I will go ahead and make this motion that council appoint Janine Chernahose and Brad Trimble as the alternates for administrative signing authorities for the town of Bonnyville for the period of July to September 2026.
Okay, all in favor? Carried. Next, street sweeping policy.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Administration is presenting an updated street sweeping policy for council's consideration. The revised policy would replace the town's current street sweeping policy as it clarifies priorities, frequencies, and methods. In preparing this policy, administration reviewed existing town practices and compared with other municipalities. It was noted that relatively few municipalities our size maintain formal council-approved street sweeping policies. The proposed changes in this version are a result of the policy being presented to council on 2 previous occasions. Feedback during those discussions have been incorporated into this version. Administration is mindful of the budget impacts in developing this policy and has aimed to balance improved service with maintaining expenses. Further enhancements to signage, service levels, or enforcement may require additional financial and staffing resources. Updates from the active policy include introduction of a coded priority map, increased sweeping frequency in key areas, inclusion of stockpile location details, and expanded communication. Attached reports consist of the current policy and the proposed policy. Options include approve the policy as presented, approve with amendments, or direct administration to complete further adjustments, and the recommendation that council approve street sweeping policy PW 26107.
Thank you. Any questions on the proposed policy? Counselor Blanchette?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Through you to administration, I just have one quick question regarding the introduction of the color-coded map and the classifications listed in the policy. Does that align with the snow removal policy?
Yeah, very closely. It's the same map. We tried to keep arterial and the main corridor is the same. So yes.
Great, thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions? No? Okay, we're looking for a recommendation. Counselor Kushner.
Thanks, Madam Mayor. I would make a motion that council approves street sweeping policy PW-26-107.
Okay, all in favor? That's carried. Okay, we'll start committee reports and we'll start with Counselor Sidlick, please.
Thank you. Okay, on June 13th, let's see, Councillor Kushner and I visited numerous lemonade stands as judges. We had a great time and kudos to those youth that participated. They all did an amazing job. On June 15th, I attended the library board meeting as a result of the resignation of our current library manager. I worked with Councillor Blanchette over the rest of the week on the recruitment of a new manager. On June 16th, I attended the governance and priorities meetings. June 17th, attended the Smart Start Lakeland celebration as the entrepreneurs that had recently completed the program. On June 18th, attended the events committee retreat and attended the FCSS advisory committee meeting. And on June 21st, I attended the Healing Gardens blessing of the grounds. Unfortunately, due to the weather, the blessing of the grounds did not occur. However, the pipe ceremony and luncheon were moved indoors to the Beaver Fish and Game. And on June 22nd, I attended the Community Policing Committee meeting. That's everything.
All right, so for me, on June the 12th, I stopped by the Staff Appreciation Barbecue for a little bit. June 15th, I attended the SPCA board meeting, and they're busy underway, starting to get ready for their planning for their gala coming up and everything in October, as well as a number of initiatives that will be coming out here in a little bit. June the 16th, I attended Governance and Priorities Committee. June the 17th, we had our Historical Society meeting. June 18th, our events committee retreat. June the 20th, I attended the Bonnieville Ballers Basketball League tournament. They put on a 2-division tournament with 9 teams coming as far away as Lloydminster. And so they crowned the champions while we were there and got to hand out trophies and medals. So it was a lot of fun and was some good basketball. And then on June 21st, I also attended the Healing Garden Blessing, which was relocated for the pipe ceremony into the Beaver River Fishing Game. That's all for me.
All right. On June 10th, along with Madam Mayor, we went to the Alberta Munis Leaders Concave, I think. I can't remember what it's called now.
Caucus?
Caucus, thank you. Can't even write my own writing here. June, what's that? June 12th, staff appreciation. 13th, Lemonade Day with Councillor Sidlick, and we did have a good time. It was an absolute blast. Again, say exactly what she said. Lots of good entrepreneurs there, and hopefully they move forward with doing that in their lives. The 15th, we had an ICF meeting. 16th, Governor's Priorities. June 17th, Bonnieville Wellness Coalition. Also on the 17th, Smart Start event in Coal Lake, again with Councillor Sidlick. They're so successful there. I think they're like, what did he say, 98% of the companies that go there are still in business 5 years later, which is unheard of, right? So they do a great job there. The 18th, the BRFA meeting, and also on the 18th, I had a DMO meeting, and that's it.
Thank you. Okay, for myself, on June 10th, attended the Alberta Municipalities Leader Caucus in Vegreville. On the 12th, we had the town staff lunch appreciation, and I just want to thank everybody for, who put in the effort to organize that day. It's always nice to have all the staff together in one area. So it was really good, nice, relaxing, and be able to chit chat with everybody. So thank you. On June 13th, I attended BCHS Grad. On the 15th, we had a health professionals recruitment meeting. June 17th to 18th, I was invited by tribal chiefs to attend a stakeholder two-day cultural experience where we had a lot of teaching about cultures, protocols, and ceremonies within Indigenous cultures. June 21st, attended the Healing Garden pipe ceremony and blessing of the ground. And then on the 22nd, I've been appointed to a new committee under Minister Furr called the Women Economic Advancement Roundtable. And we had our inaugural meeting yesterday, where we'll be working as a group to give feedback on how we can support women's participation in underrepresented fields such as skilled trades and STEM, address key barriers to women's economic participation, and identify high-impact government actions and opportunities for collaboration. And that's it for me.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. On June 12th, I was lucky enough to be put on the production line at the Staff Appreciation Barbecue with a great help from the town administration. We were just cooking up and handling the burgers and dogs, so that was good. It was lots of fun. Glad that everybody was able to enjoy. On the 15th, I had a doctor recruitment meeting along with some ICF discussions. On Tuesday, the 16th, we had an Alberta Winter Games meeting as well as the GNP meeting. And on the 17th, we had a lodge meeting, and Councillor Sharoon and I, we talked about a couple of interesting things. One thing that we're going to start keeping track of is the hours and days spent by our residents that stay at our members, residents of Lakeland Lodge and Housing, the hours and days they spend in hospital and the time that they are taking up in acute beds. And so it should be a stat that we will be able to use when we go forward with talks with the government about the need for additional care in our region. And then yesterday, the 22nd, I was signing checks over at the C2, and that is it for moi.
Thank you. On the 12th, I also attended the staff appreciation barbecue, and thank you, Councillor Langridge, for helping out. It was delicious. On the 16th, a GNP meeting. On the 17th, Lakeland Lodge and Housing Foundation. In addition to Councillor Langridge's comments, the wait list for Coal Lake Lodge is 14, Bonnie Lodge is 15, community housing is 53, and self-contained units is 25. So we've got quite a few people on our waiting lists. On the 18th, I had a BRFA meeting, and happy to say that LG 911 is in the building and it is operational. It was on the Monday before that week, and we were able to go into the 911 chambers and see the operations there. Simply amazing. Just the screens and the pinpoints and everything that it comes, it's just unbelievable. So that was great to see. Later on that morning, I had a chamber meeting. Just to let you guys all that nominations are now open for the Business Resiliency Awards. And there was a lot of discussion about labor shortages, immigration, where do we go to? So that was prevalent from a lot of our chamber members. On behalf of my position for Director of Towns East for AB Munis, I attended the summer MLC in Vegreville. From there, I went on to Gibbons to listen to a presentation by Municipal Affairs for the viability study for Gibbons. So there'll be a vote on the 24th and 25th, I believe, to see how that will all turn out. On the 22nd, I had a membership visit in Vermilion Elk Point, and that is it for me.
All right. June 12th, I also attended the staff appreciation event. Big thank you to our staff for their dedication to our community. June 15th, library board meeting. June 16th, governance and priorities committee meeting. June 17th and 18th, as Councillor Sidlick mentioned, we had 2 meetings regarding the recruitment of new library manager. One with Northern Lights Library System, the other with the consultant assisting with the recruitment, and that position was posted today, so please share that one far and wide. June 18th, the events committee retreat for planning the 2027 events calendar. We did that a little bit earlier this year to have anticipated costs incorporated into the draft 2027 budget. Also on June 18th, that evening, Bonnyville FCSS board meeting, and last night, June 22nd, police committee meeting. And then in my role as the president of the FCSS-AA, I had a committee meeting and a membership engagement session regarding the bylaw review process we're completing. And that's all for me.
Okay, thank you. Next, under correspondence, we have our community organization funding up to June 18th, 2026. Oh my gosh. Questions for administration? Seeing none, we have a couple items in camera. If I can get a motion to move it to camera. Councillor Blanchette.
I'll give you that motion, Madam Mayor.
All in favor?